Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Barry, Season 4. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start with the furry, there isn't any. Moving on to the good and the bad. So, this continues the story of Barry. I have a review for Season 3 down below, but if you haven't seen Season 3, spoiler for that alert. Okay, so we last left off where he's getting arrested. So now they spend a couple of episodes with him in prison, and I feel like they just kind of, I feel like they weren't sure if they were going to get a season 3 or a season 4, sorry. So they were like, hey, let's just end it where he's going to go to jail. Yep, that's a good enough series finale. And then oh shit, we have a 4th season. Well, it's going to be really boring if we have 8 episodes of him in prison. So how do we get him out? Sure, let's continue the ridiculousness that is this show. So the ridiculous way in which he gets out of prison, I think, aligns with the ridiculous nature of this show. But, I still feel like they could have done it a different way that would have made more sense in a more realistic realm. Anywho, the other thing that I didn't like is that they they had a time jump. Like, why the fuck would you have a time jump and that big? And it's in I think it's The Graduate, where they run off together. Like, she leaves at her wedding, and then they're on the bus, and then they kind of like are looking at each other, and then it's just like, oh shit, like, yep, that just happened. This is our life now. Yep, this is how things are going. Like, it's like they did a whole episode of like shit that happens after that sort of thing. We're like, oh yeah, let's go do this thing, and then just shitty unhappiness. I'm sorry, but it's just not what I was hoping for. What this kind of reminds me of is Raised by Wolves, how it was going in one direction, and then at the very end of the season, they're like, let's do this wacky shit. And then season 2 is just like, yeah, let's continue that wacky shit. And that's kind of what they did in the middle of this season, is they were like, hey, time jump. We're going to continue from here. Like, what? Why? Why would you do that? There's, like, the whole rest of the seasons, like, all 3 of these other seasons have been following, like, essentially his day-to-day life. Like, just rapidly. Like, there hasn't been any, like, 6 weeks later, 18 weeks later, nothing like that. Like, it seems to have just been, like, boom, 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 like, weekly, the last 12 weeks of his life type of thing. Give or take. Maybe I'm misremembering, but that's how I remember it. But then here they're just like, time jump. That's the right call here, and it was not. I disagree with it. So I'm not going to get into specifics of the ending, but I'm going to tell you my feelings about the ending. So I feel like my feelings about the ending kind of spoil a bit of it. So spoiler alert. So I get that it's a dark comedy, and I get that most of the shit that's happened in this show has been all because of the various assassin-y things that he has to do in the past, and the current, and the life situation that he's in. But I didn't like the ending. Not because it was a bad ending, because I think that the ending aligns with the overall nature of his life and these things that have happened in it during the show. But call me crazy, I was still hoping for a happy ending. I feel like it would have been a fun thing to give us a happy ending for somebody. Somebody could have had a happy ending. I know and I think where the cutoff point for it was in season 3, but like, NoHo Hank's not going to have a happy ending because of what happened there, which was total bullshit and was just the worst thing. Like, why'd you got to do that to NoHo Hank? NoHo Hank was the best part of this show, and now, and then just the ridiculousness to get hit. Like, don't get me wrong, I love seeing more NoHo Hank, but it's just how you get him involved again is a little ridiculous, and then how you have him fail was probably the funniest bits, but still ridiculous. And I was still hoping for a happy ending, and nobody got one, and that makes me sad because I was hoping for one. But in line with the style of the show, I do think it was an appropriate ending. So it was appropriate, but just not what I was hoping for. So, yeah, that's the show. Hope you liked it. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.